Alrighty, boys and girls, in today's video we're going to be talking about Bitcoin as it is now recovering following the plan that I've laid out, and we've got Pepe as well recovering, or at least getting ready for the next leg up, as well as Turbo. We're going to be talking about that, and the most bullish meme coins that are going to start rallying right now. As you can see now, we're back in the green, exactly as predicted. Market was bearish for no reason, and we're now recovering, especially because, right, you know what happened? Right, well, we had the inflation report coming in lower than expected, which means now those spaghetti hands and G's now again believe the government and believe that the inflation now is going down and that we are gonna go higher. So there is a lot to talk about in today's video. Sit back and relax, and as usual, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, very important if you want to make it this cycle. And let's get into today's video. So now you guys see how this market works. As usual, we're gonna keep playing this as long as we're in this uptrend. So this tweet on May 29, where I made these chart, like I shared this chart of Bitcoin, where I said like it literally is gonna just go a bit down here, like below 67k. This is 69,900, 66,900, and just fake out people and then come back up. And then we're seeing this playing out now here. If we go to the 4 hours, now you can see Bitcoin did exactly that, went below 67k, that 66k and all that, faked out everyone, right? This huge sell-off you see here, basically because of that job reports that came in, and people were saying that's it, there are more job reports in the US, which means now the Feds are going to be forced to not cut rates, which is very important. It's a long story, geek kind of white paper stuff, but just to keep it short, now market got bearish, right? The G's got to G, the spaghetti hands got to do the spaghetti hand things, but because of today we've got these inflation reports, now the market is recovering. Now Bitcoin is above what, you know what price it is now? It is now around 69k. Well, believe it or not, this 69k is gonna haunt us for a while now, but it's a massive green candle. Later on we're gonna have the FOMC meeting, the Fed's gonna speak again, right? Gonna do their thing, and this is the strength you want to see. Now this shows literally this sell-off was just due to that inflation report. So what do we know about inflation reports now so far? You can see now that this yellow bar is the expectation, right? The market was expecting it's gonna go higher, which means we're gonna have to wait for the Feds to cut rate probably later on, or once a year, once this year and then next year, which means also the bull market. So for those that do not know, which basically let's spread this out. So this is around 2021, right? So when inflation goes up, we get a bull market, basically Bitcoin and risk assets, stock market, and all that crazy stuff happens here. Like Tesla stocks went to all-time, even though now we had Nvidia and all that stuff, but usually these high inflation means bull market. Now if we go a bit before that, right, and it's gonna show you here, right here, so this is 2020, right before the bull market starts, right? You can see here inflation was so low, and then the Fed started printing money again, which basically that's what it shows, right? They started printing money and then it sends inflation higher, and then also bull market, right? So we are now here. So now we are here, right? Again, same thing. We have low inflation and everyone is waiting for that Feds to start cutting rates to finally understand this and start printing money and send us again to this massive run. That's why I always say, guys, bull market is imminent. We're gonna have a massive bull market, and the market now is also understanding that, and it's pricing it now with Bitcoin with this massive run. You can see that literally Bitcoin is just waiting for that confirmation that actually we're gonna have a money printing machine. We're gonna have the machine back in the office. The money printing is gonna start. That's all what it takes. That's why sometimes people get bearish at the lows for no reason. They don't understand what's happening, right? So once this is gonna start, it's not gonna stop, and we're gonna have a massive run when this usually happens. Anyways, now with Pepe now recovering as well, showing massive strength. Now Pepe, now I'm seeing a lot of people started to trade it because now it's a high market cap coin, so a lot of people are gonna start to day trade it and all that stuff. And now it's at $5.7 billion in its market cap, recovering 10%. So what do we see here? Again, usually now we understand what Pepe likes to do, right? Pepe likes to drink his coffee in the morning, and then the second thing Pepe likes to do is retest previous highs. Like we see here, we retested that Binance high, and then again here almost, right, almost retested it again, and now we're recovering. So if we go to that lower time frame, we're gonna see something as well here happening. It's kind of going following this BTC chart, but it's outperforming BTC by a lot. Like Pepe is literally outperforming Bitcoin in this cycle. So now we have Pepe here. So you see this part here, remember that one, and we have had the same thing here. So you can see this one here. So we are literally doing this now. You see it's very similar, right? We got this, you remember this crash, that was also like Bitcoin crashing. I do think this was here, right? This was this massive crash also here. So this was the 15th of April. This is also the 12th, so right before Bitcoin, right? So it bottomed, literally it bottomed when Bitcoin crashed. But Pepe bottoms right before Bitcoin crashes, so, or when Bitcoin crashes. So it's basically the same pattern playing out again. So what we can see see now. So if Pepe does again this, reclaim these levels like we see here, equal highs, and then comes back here to retest, and then the fly back like we've seen here, wave up, and basically could be the same thing playing out again. And this is around this price, right? The 1379, that's the resistance now on Pepe. Now basically it's just following Bitcoin. As Bitcoin runs here, Pepe is making an even bigger run. So why we're talking about Pepe, for those that do not hold or care about Pepe, Pepe is the biggest narrative, the Pepeverse season, the Pepeverse narrative, Pepe meme coins index. Basically everyone is watching Pepe right now. So if Pepe moves, the other ones move, right? So what we see here today, Dogecoin is up 3.5%, which is not bad seeing its market cap. Shiba Inu barely moving, right? And we have Pepe 10%, Dog we've had 6%, Floki 1%, Bonk 8%. We have this recent Dog go to Moon, now they rebranded, and up 21%. Now we can disregard this one because it was kind of selling off, but it's coming back up, right? We got Book of Meme 5%, 2%. So now we're going to lower market caps, but we can see now Pepe is at $5.7 billion in its market cap, and it's literally the biggest gainer among these top meme coins. And that's why we look at it, right? Because once it rallies and it runs and it starts consolidating, like here, it ignites that next run on meme coins. So whatever you're holding, it doesn't matter, right? So that spills down, that goes down, and we're gonna talk about some other meme coins as well here. Now look at that Pepe coin, the other one, is finally showing on CoinMarketCap among these top meme coins. Now you see why this is important to look at Pepe. Now we have a plan, right? We follow the plan like I laid out here with BTC, right? So BTC, now we need to see BTC breaking above 69, which is very likely now. If we do that, 70k, 71k, I'll let you imagine now the FOMO that's gonna create, right? It's gonna create some massive FOMO. So now we have Turbo. So Turbo now is down from its high, or at least went down almost 50%, 49%, holding pretty strong right now. What I do think Turbo is gonna do is the same playbook, right? Like I tweeted that yesterday. You can follow me on Twitter, by the way, link in the description. So Turbo, usually now the plan on Turbo is gonna be the same, right? I tweeted that yesterday, and now it's up. Like yesterday it was around 370 million. Now Turbo is at 380. So it had a bit of a push, but you can see there is still a strong sell pressure here. So what usually happens here, guys, we have a consolidation, supply distribution, right? It's gonna take some time, maybe a week or two, just right when Pepe is gonna break out. But I do think now, if you were like literally, if you were buying the tops here on Turbo and you were hyped and you were bullish and you were thinking that's it, that's the next Pepe and whatnot, and now here you're thinking again, oh, that's it, it's over, it's done with, you just should know. We've seen this with Bonk, we've seen this with a Book of Meme, we've seen this with Pepe, we've seen this with literally every meme coin that gets that initial high, with literally every meme coin. So I don't know why, but there is something going on with people that like to buy the top and suddenly switch bullish here, and then here, or when they see a low cap coin or something bullish or something like that, they start asking all kind of questions here, right? Like here people are bearish, or like they don't care literally, and then they see this massive run that everyone wants to buy, and then they see the pullback that everyone wishes for at the highs here, right? And then they see it here, and then they turn bearish, and it's gonna be playing out the whole cycle. Literally you can be just banking on these, like literally I've been banking on Breton base when it dropped to 200, 300. I've banked on Book of Meme, Pepe, even Pepe back in the days when it dropped here at the lows, right? I started buying a lot of Pepe here because I knew, at least now back in the days, I wasn't as sure, right? Like Bitcoin was at 30k. Who would have thought Bitcoin would pull a new all-time high before the halving? Anyway, but we've seen this over and over because people build up hype, right? It builds a coin, build up hype, and then drops 70%, 80%. Nobody wants it. But what people don't understand is supply distribution. The tokenomics becomes better because it's a meme coin. The supply is 100% circulating. There is no VCs to dump on you anymore, and all that stuff. It's just like the supply now is distributed amongst hundreds of thousands of wallets that are not gonna affect the markets anymore if they dump, right? So that's why it's called consolidation. And then once we break out, usually these shows strong strength, because even if one wallet sells among 100,000 wallets that all have spread supply, they won't affect the price, right? So that's why Pepe is running this massive run, right? It has pretty much the best tokenomics out there now in the crypto space. That's why it's just gonna keep running. But you should know that this plays with meme coins over and over because they are meme coins. They have supply. You cannot do this with utility coins because there are VCs and still people that have tokens that are not circulating that can dump anytime. That's why meme coins, when they dump like that, this usually is just rinsing. big wallets are selling to a lot of small wallets, hundreds of thousands now. Like Turbo has 32,000. But what happens is few wallets sell to a lot of wallets, that these wallets don't affect the price anymore. It's supply distribution, right? And then once the big buy starts to come, even though people here from here starts to sell at next rally, it doesn't affect it the same way we've seen here. Like when we see this distribution here, like a lot of wallets starts to buy, and like slowly those big wallets get out, and like JITs and disbelievers get out. And once we get the run, like you got the community guys and the community people, the holders and all that stuff, these guys, they all want to sell, and that's why the price runs, because there is no seller, just buyers, and it squeezes the supply. That's why also the run, like very interesting too to understand, just so this is very important to know, right? To really make it. Like sometimes you just want to know things, right? It's not really about the coin, but like you can see here from like Turbo ran from $75 million in its market cap to 600 million with no stops, like literally with no stops. It just went from 86, let's say, to 600 with no stops, like no daily candle stops. Why? Because there is no sellers here, and it chokes the supply, just to send it. But now, right, so the people that bought here are selling here to those that are gonna buy here, and repeat the same process again. It's just that this time the run is gonna be even bigger because the supply is less, right? There is less supply for people to buy, so the next run usually is bigger. The same thing we've seen with Breton base, right? Like Breton base, when you look at it, it took some time. Literally, it was around 30 million for a while, and then slowly gained to that 400, then 200, then 400, then 200, and then suddenly it ran to that 800, right? It took some time, and then once it distributed around $300 million in its market cap, the next run was faster because that's it, the sellers are out, this distribution was perfect and everything like that, and then it gave it that massive run. And this happens to almost every coin, like especially meme coins. When I say every coin, just so you know, it happens to every coin. That's why I always see those things and I bank on them, right? Because it just keeps playing. Now I do think Turbo now still got a bit to go, right? Still got a bit to go. Like it's gonna accumulate for a while here, maybe another week or two, we'll see. I would really be interested around $300 million and below. I would be really interested into Turbo. If not, it's just gonna run from here. But the plan for those interested is this, right? This for a while, and then this, a massive run up, and then from there it's gonna again have to do the same thing. So if you look at BONK, this is the Bybit chart for those that do not know. Like BONK is one of the oldest coins as well on that Bybit. So it got listed on Bybit on the 5th of January, and it just kept selling off. This was like almost 200 days, and then suddenly spike up, right? And this was it getting listed on Binance. So once it got listed on Binance, it dropped 70%. Like we see this over and over. I remember I made a video about it, and I said this was the top. It's getting listed on Binance. That's it. You want to get out. And after that, it dropped 70%, and then this was the bottom. And then I made another video. This is the bottom on BONK. It just keeps repeating, right? We've seen this with Book of Meme, Pepe, BONK, Dog. We've had Breton base, and now we're seeing it again with Turbo, right? Will this time be different? I don't think so, right? So that's about Turbo. I do think now this is the plan, and that's what I'm looking at. Now we got Floki down 24% this last 7 days. This could possibly be the one that is gonna be running after Pepe. We got Dog, we've had, we got BONK as well, and a Book of Meme as well, down 20% recently. So those are all on big exchanges. Those all can be next after Pepe starts to run. These are gonna follow, and then we're gonna have the other ones. Like I do think Breton base now is slowly topping off at 1.7 billion, right? We're still gonna have to wait for another pullback. Now, as I said, Turbo is in this accumulation phase where it could just break out from here. We got also the other Pepe coin, which is not bad, and we got Myro, right? We got Andy on ETH, we got Ponke, we got Toshi, we got even Kokino on Avalanche, we got Ladies. So the same coins, literally. I do think these are still the strongest meme coins of this cycle. We have Snake on Cardano as well, Grok still accumulating now, Arbdoge, and also Breton ETH, something I'm really bullish on as a low market cap coin, following that Pepeverse narrative on ETH, one of those bullish low market cap coins. And the plan remains the same. We are waiting for that real bull market to start, right? Because what we've seen so far from Bitcoin and all that, this is summer accumulation or whatnot, or like summer boredom, or Bitcoin is not really doing much, and crypto space right now is just going crazy, and everyone on Twitter is bullish at the highs and bearish at the lows. It's not really how a bull market feels or what a bull market sentiment is like usually. So for now, we keep looking at the strongest assets or the strongest meme coin cryptocurrencies, those that are gonna keep running. Now, as I always say, it doesn't matter, those that I share with you guys here are the ones I'm personally bullish on. But as usual, right, like there are so many meme coins. Like I remember even Turbo, I missed on that one, and I've seen the community on the comment section about Turbo, talking about Turbo and all that. And And I always said, look, it doesn't matter what meme coin, as long as it's a bullish meme coin, it's a bullish narrative, and it has a strong community, that's it, right? This cycle is literally going to be about meme coins. Other narratives are going to have a hard time to really pull anything substantial this cycle. As you can see, as soon as Bitcoin runs, we have meme coins switching to green, straight up. Meme coin starts to follow, and even meme coin starts to outperform like Pepe. And anything related to Pepe, basically, that's a no-brainer at this point. We got even more coin now. I see that community is one of the strongest on Twitter. I do think this is not bad. It's also one of those community coins that shows you really the strength of a community. That's why it's really important to really bet on communities and narratives. So if we look at MOG, right, like one of those bullish now, really bullish coins. So it literally just started as a tiny market cap coin, like literally at 1 million, 1.2 million, like Brett ETH, and then went up to 39, 40 million, then down to 7 million, just like Turbo as well, 25, then down to 10, then 23, then slowly starts to grind and then push, right? Once that push happens, it's really strong, right? It's really push fast, and then went to 400, and this is possibly another 70% pullback, right? So we've seen, yeah, so this is a 64% pullback. Just keep that in mind, they always do that. And then another push higher, another 4x to the upside, 5x to the upside, and now it's accumulating again, right? It could just accumulate again here, right? I would be like, literally, if this gives me an entry, this would be a really good meme coin for this cycle, right? So if it pulls back around 60% again, this would be perfect. This would put it around 258 million, right? Like as long as we have a bull market, that's the main important thing, right? Like we're so early, as I said. Like look at that now, look at that. Like literally, this is money coming to the space soon. As soon as this, we're gonna pass through this, we're here, and this is gonna come, money printing, and then we're gonna have that massive bull run, and then it's gonna be late, right? Then these coins are gonna be in the billions of dollars in their valuation, and then it's gonna become even harder to find coins because grifters are gonna grift. We're gonna have everyone launching a meme coin. Like recently, we've seen even now over 112k new tokens were created on Solana over the last 7 days. These numbers are just gonna increase, right? And there are gonna be a lot of meme coins, and especially for those that are gonna come late to the cycle, it's gonna be pretty tough to find low market cap ones, right? Which also you need to join my Discord if you don't want to stay alone in this cycle. It's linked in the description. It's free to join, but it's gonna be tough, right? That's why here now, when I see coins like this, I keep an eye on those, right? If it gives me a nice entry, because I know these like literally gonna last. Like now there are some AI coins and stuff like that that are way higher, and most of them are not gonna push harder because they're FDV, right? Like you see this FDV, fully diluted value, because there are a lot of VCs and venture capitalists waiting for it to go to 1 billion to dump everything, or they have $1 billion in their cap and the actual market cap is 200. But these coins here, once they accumulate and they rinse and have like a pretty decent token distribution, they do run harder. So I'll be looking at anything with a strong community, doesn't matter, like MOG or Cat in Dog's World and all that stuff. You want to be looking at their charts, you want to be following their Twitter pages, you want to see how their communities are doing and all that stuff. You can check out also Brett ETH, pretty decent community for a low market cap. And it's basically it, right? It's basically it this cycle. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I really appreciate you watching today's video till the end, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.